It. All right, hello. We are here with Sylvie and Grady. What we're going to do today is Sylvie has just signed up for her Life Coach Office trial, and she gets several months free as a member of the Coach Changemakers Academy. And what we're going to do is we're going to flick over and share screen with Sylvie, and you can see she's just logged in. She has never really seen the interface before, except for, of course, as a student. And we're going to walk her through how to set up her signature program in her Life Coach Office account. So, and I want to cover four main steps today. What we want to look at is how to set up we'll probably do first of all an overview. So let's say that we're going to do 5 steps. And then we're going to do how to set up a group and your pricing for your group. That's one step because you do that all in one place. Then we're going to look at how you set up your library for your signature program. Then how you set up your classroom for your signature program. And last, how you add in clients. And there are 2 ways you can do that. You can do it manually or you can do an auto registration. So I want to walk through all of that today, and we'll actually get that all set up and going for Sylvie today so she can leave this session ready to rock. All right, so let's flick over. Sylvie, if you can go ahead and share screen, we'll get started.
And this is it.
Okay, so what happens when you first log into your trial is you get all this helpful information. It just tells you about the resources that we've got available in Life Coach Office that you can access as a coach with a coach account. So you get access to the knowledge base. There are monthly live Q&A calls that you can go. You can go and look at the backlog of those, or you can join the next live one as a coach member. There's a getting started checklist, just a quick and easy cheat sheet for you to make sure that you've got all your I's dotted and your T's crossed. And there's a quick start guide. It just sort of helps you think about how to plan your Life Coach Office so you don't just sort of jump in and get going. Unless you're that kind of person. I'm the kind of person that jumps into an interface and just figures it out. I don't really like reading guides, but some people really love guides and they like to go through a guided process. If you're that kind of person, the quick start guide is perfect for you. Sorry, and then here's the monthly open calls. So I got those confused with the knowledge base. Apologies, that's the calls with our head of customer support, and she will just basically be on the call for an hour and answer any questions you have, and it's like a live training and troubleshooting and Q&A all rolled into one, and then those are stored in the knowledge base, which was that first point. And there's also some interesting articles about coaching. You also have access to Coach Pep Talk, which is my podcast where we interview people who have wisdom to share with people who run coaching businesses, all sorts of goodies in there. Okay, and then we've got the monthly newsletter, which is a bit hit and miss at the moment, but we're going to pick that up again. And alerts and updates you'll get when we've got enhancements or updates to the software that you need to know about. You'll just get a little friendly email telling you what's going on. Like we've got a new release coming out soon, so you'll get an email about that. It's just warning you that those might come. And then, of course, there's support. So you can actually get on the phone with a real customer support person. I ask that you kind of restrict that to an hour. So if you need extensive support for any reason, or you even want some admin to help you get stuff set up, then you can actually buy additional support and consulting, really, if you kind of want that VA kind of support, and because you don't have time to do it yourself. Okay, so that's kind of just at the heads up of all the resources and goodies that are here for you. You'll see at the top you've got your business name, and then there's like this little empty logo. So that's the place where you can actually go in, change your business name, put in your logo, and then you can actually have some branding for your own business. If you move over to the top right, Sylvie, will you go ahead and click on your name, and you'll see there's a little drop-down list there. So that's where you manage stuff like your profile, your subscription, your time zone setting, all the stuff that are personal to you. If you go over to the little cog window, a cog button next to it, these are actually more system settings. So this is where you can set up your billing, groups, branding, date and time format. So these are kind of system-wide things. So they don't so much have an attachment to you, but rather to things that you're setting up for your clients. And then you can see there's a second tab in there called templates, and you can change things. You can add some templates for your coaching journal. That's a really powerful tool, which we won't get into in this lesson, but I know that in the knowledge base, there's plenty of information on how you can use the coaching journal. I'm just gonna have a sip of water. I'm recovering from a cough. And then automated emails, there are some templates that you can actually change if you want to make them a little bit more personalized from just the generic stuff that we've got in the system for you, like when somebody joins an account and so on. Okay, and then moving over to start here, that basically just takes you back to the help section. You don't need to click on it unless you want to. I think it just takes you right back here, so that's fine. And then home, go ahead and click on home. It's kind of your dashboard. We've kept it pretty simple. For now, it's just a repeat of the main features that you can use. We kept it really simple because it looks really great on the phone. When your client logs in, they actually see something very, very similar. There are some minor tweaks because, you know, they're looking at it from a client's perspective instead of yours, but basically it's a what you see is what you get kind of app. Okay, if you go into resources, that's just a little area where you can get a straight link into some of the stuff in the knowledge base. And you can also get some access to some of the tools and templates. If you kind of want to beef up your library really quickly, you can buy things like the Coach Kickstart Pack and just upload all that stuff into your library. So you've got all these additional resources for your clients. Moving right along, if you click on calendar, that's where you'll set up meetings in for your coaching calendar. Next area is where you manage all your clients. And you guys who have been in the academy will be really familiar with the classroom. That's where I set up the academy course. So that's where you get all of your modules and your lessons in the academy. Of course, at the moment, there's nothing there, but we'll build something out for Sylvie today. And then you've got your library. I like to think of this as a resource library. So I use this for my signature program. I make a folder for the signature program. So I make a folder for, I've run the Academy once and I'm about to run it again. So I have a folder called Academy 1 and I have a folder called Academy 2. And then all of the documents that I want my students to have access to, I go ahead and put them in the Academy folders. And you'll find that when you run your signature program once and you run it a second time, you actually do change stuff. So I like to actually have a folder for each time I run it because I just change things all the time because I'm always improving it and upgrading it. You may or may not choose to work like that, but that's a little tip that works really well for me. And then the cool thing is once you've got that stuff in the library, you can easily cross-link all of those resources to your classroom. So you know that you've got the same things working in your classroom and your library. I'll show you how that actually works in just a minute. Invoices, you can go ahead and click on that, Sylvie. This is just a simple way if you want to send a client manually just an invoice. You can do that and just create an invoice. It takes about, I don't know, 5 seconds. It's really easy. We're not going to spend time on that today, but it's a feature that's there. We're just about to release auto invoicing. It's not quite a subscription yet. We're working to that. But what it'll do is you can say, I want this client to get an invoice, 3 invoices over the next 3 months. And you can kind of set a time frame and it automatically will invoice them. It's not unfortunately linked to a credit card yet, so it doesn't automatically take that, but at least it's sent to your client so they know they can pay it, which will work well for some coaches. And it's a step in the right direction. Mass email. When a client has this in their view, it's actually called group email. So this is where you can basically send emails to groups of people at a time. So all of the Academy reminder emails that go out, this is where I send them. I go and say, create a new mass email, and then I say, here's a reminder, meeting, here's the link, and stuff like that. So, but it's not really an email program for an individual. It's a way to keep track of all the emails that you're sending to your groups in one place. Because we didn't want to double up with other email systems. Like that was just silly, but we do see the value in keeping all your group emails together. LCO reports, I'm not going to spend any time in here, but there are some predefined reports that you can go ahead and download CSV files so that you can see how your coaches are rating your sessions and get your coaching hours if you're going for ICF accreditation and billing and stuff. I'm going to cough, so I'm going to go on mute just for a second. Okay, so that is a really quick overview of the home screen and all of the main features. Sylvie and Grady, do you guys have any questions before we move on to actually how to go ahead and set up your Life Coach Office for your signature program?
Not so good so far.
Great. We've tried to keep it as simple as possible while giving you also as many features as a coaching business really needs. So there's a really fine line, and coaches are always saying, oh, we need this, we need this, and then it's like, oh, every time we introduce a new thing, it can complicate the software. So we're really careful with maintaining the simplicity of the software so people can just jump in and get going. Now, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on this, Sylvie, so I'm going to let you figure this out in your own time. But before we do go on to setting up the group, I just want to say, if you want to edit, now, I'm sure you want to get in there and change the colors and change your name and all that stuff. And that's a really fun part to do. So it's really easy. Like, you saw the link, you just click edit, and you can go in and start changing that. So you have access to change that little logo that's got the sort of person icon. You've got an opportunity to change your business name. In your profile, you can actually add a photo of yourself, and I recommend you do that because that photo will actually display for all of your clients as I'm your coach. And then you can also change the background. So right now it's gray, and then you can either put a photo in the background, which can look beautiful. You can choose a different color, and we've got a couple of pattern options if you want to go with sort of a swirly patterny thing. So I'm going to let you play with that in your own time. I know you'll figure it out because it's one of the most fun things to do when you get in. So there's the carrot for you and a challenge. And you can tell us on the Facebook group how easy it was. Okay, so let's go ahead and get straight into setting up your group, which is the more technical side of things. So you need to go back to your little cog icon at the top right. There's the little cogs, yeah, and that's your system settings, and there's an area called group, so just go in there. Okay, now I'm going to let you guess what you have to click, Sylvie. Spot on. And all those little blue text, those are like actually little tips that you can read. I find that people tend to be blind to them for some reason. I don't know why. We should turn those into hovering eyes maybe instead. But if you want to read, there are little tips in those little blue boxes. That's what that is. The intention is for that. Okay, so Sylvie, what is your group going to be called?
Smoothie Lady Boss. Well, it's actually what the program is going to be called, but yes,
that's fine. Yeah, and I call my groups Academy, Academy 1, Academy 2. So you can call it 1, or you can put a date range, or you can leave it like this and you can call it 1 later once you have number 2. It's totally up to you. You can always change the name. Okay, and what I would like you to go ahead and enable this to register for online. And if you don't have to use it, oh, sorry, we have to do that first. Go ahead, click here. We do have to add in your PayPal. Oh, and it's great because I'll show you how easy this is. So if you just click edit in the top right there, that'll let you edit your client billing setting. Great. And then the bank transfer stuff is just for if you want to accept bank transfer information. It doesn't automatically do anything except for put in your bank details for somebody to actually key in the transfer. Okay, so it's just if people need that information, but it's optional. Great, so that was pretty easy. And now your Life Coach Office account, when somebody pays you, that money will go straight into that PayPal account. Okay, so now let's go back to the cog icon. Sorry, I forgot about that step. And go to groups. Great, now let's try a new group again. Okay. Okay, so another thing that we'll have to do, if we're going to have, we can say that this is going to be free for now, and we can always go back in and edit it and add a price. But I want to show you how easy it is to add a product and service into Life Coach Office. So go ahead and click the product and services section. So if someone is going to pay in full, go ahead and click edit again. And scroll, oh, sorry, we must have been in the wrong section. I apologize. Just go back. We need to scroll down and see where the product, there we go. Let's click product services, new product, apologies. Okay, so you can give it a name. Great. and then give it a price, and this will be the full price.
It's in Canadian, so I changed the...
Okay, you can save that. And do you want to put a tax rate on there that'll take a percentage, or do you want to leave that? You can always add it in later if you want.
That's okay.
Okay, now we go back to groups again. And the reason, I mean, I know we could have gone and set all this stuff up, but I wanted to show you that you could just go straight into group and it will prompt you to do all the things that you needed. You might have to actually right-click and refresh this page so that your new product comes up.
Yeah.
There we go. And let's just make sure that the title was saved. No. So probably we should have done all this stuff first. But anyway, I do want to show you that, you know, it does prompt you to do all this as you're going. Great. And then you can decide, once they've joined, how long can they have access? Great. And then what that'll do is it'll automatically lock them out 3 months after the program's done. Oh, sorry, 3 months after they sign up. Okay. Now, we haven't set up any courses or any library resources yet. We haven't created those, so that's fine. You can do that from the library or the classroom itself, or you can do it from the group. So you have a lot of flexibility there. Okay, so now you can see, Sylvie, your group is set up. The price is there. And it actually has a registration page since you turned on allow for online registration. You just see a ticker of how many times that page has been viewed. Oh, that looks like a little bit of a issue there. They never expire. It should say 3 months. Let's just pretend that says 3 months. Pardon?
I changed it.
Yeah, so that's something.
Expiration, it's not a mistake.
Oh, you left it to never expire?
Yeah, she changed it.
All right, okay, sorry, I missed that. So I'm like, oh my gosh, bug. Okay, shoo. All right. If you do ever find any bugs, though, all you have to do is log it with customer support, and we take those really seriously. Okay, and then you can see there's a little link icon. So just click that. I want to show you what it's created for you. Because one thing that we wanted to make sure was really easy to do with Life Coach Office is make it super easy for you to have any website. If you have Wix, you have WordPress, you have Joomla, you have any other custom-made anything, we can just give you URLs and you can link directly to your Life Coach Office stuff. So if you want to send out an email and say, register for my group now, you can just give people that link and they will get your registration page. Yeah, go ahead, you can open it in a new tab. What it'll do, Sylvie, since you're logged in already, it's gonna show you this page with navigation on it because you're logged in. But if you weren't logged in, all that navigation stuff on the top would be gone, right? And you just get the nice registration page.
Oh, nice.
So that'll prompt people once they fill out this, then to go ahead and pay, and then they'll get an email and they'll get to get started, and you get a notification from PayPal saying they paid, and a notification from Life Coach Office saying somebody just signed up, and then you're like, woohoo! Time to celebrate. And if you want to put a special, let's go back, Sylvie, to that other tab. The login page. That will be a special, once you have your logo and your business name and your branding and your background set, that login page will pick up all of that branding for you and basically give them a nice little login box and a page that's branded for you. So you can just put that link anywhere on your website. They click it and they're taken to a login page that has your name and your logo and your colors on it. Okay? Okay, so
actually,
now
I'll share.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll share a link to mine in the chat. That way she can click on it and see what it'll look like with the stuff on it.
Okay, cool. You want to click that link that Grady just sent in the chat?
With the branding.
Hold on.
It's tricky to see the chat when you've got a share screen.
Oh, nice.
There you go. So it's still logged in as you. That's actually really interesting. I've never done that before. But it's only because you're logged in, Sylvie. Normally your name and that navigation wouldn't be there. But you can see that it's got Grady's colors. Very nice.
Nice.
And probably yours is going to be really different colors and have a totally different feel, just with those subtle different changes of background, logo, and business name. Okay, so let's go back. We've set up a group, we've set up a cost, and now I want to go to setting up the library. So just go to the library.
Library.
Yep. Okay, and if this is sort of a weird feature, but if you have to right click, and it tells you to make changes to your library, right click the folder or item you want to access. And you get this little sub menu. The weird thing, we don't do this anywhere else in the system yet, because we were kind of trialing this feature to see if people got it. But once you know it's there, it works really great. You can add in a new folder. So I would do that, Sylvie. Go ahead and say, add in a new folder called Spoony Lady Boss. And you can see that you can set your access. So you can say that, okay, I'm just building this so only I can view it, or no, all my clients can see it, or only the Spoony Lady Boss group can see it. So just make your selection. And then when a client logs in who's got access to the group, and she can see everything in this folder. Or, yeah, she can see everything in this folder. So create. And now if you right click on that folder, just say upload. And now you can start adding files to your heart's content. So if you've got a workbook, if you've got like a contract you want them to read, if you've got worksheets, if you've got a Facebook policy and procedures or something like that, all that stuff can go in there. And you can, of course, make subfolders and whatnot to your heart's content too if you want to organize that a little bit more. I love the library because it's just a nice place where you can, a one-stop shop. For the people who like thinking like that, they can go and get all of their worksheets and stuff in that one place.
Okay. Great.
And then of course, if you have like some bonus tools or things that you want to add in your library, you have an ebook that you want to give all your clients, then you just go ahead and you can upload that into your library too. You can say, here's the Spoony Lady Boss ebook, and everybody can have access to that. Okay, so you can go ahead and close that. Okay, great, so that's library. Pretty easy, right? Now let's go to the classroom. And I think this is the real power of Life Coach Office. I love this feature. It's so easy to use. So we'll have a new course. You can give it a title.
Okay, so we're starting from the beginning.
Great. And then the course description it'll just give, I actually often leave this blank, but if you want a little bit of a blurb, because you have lots of courses in your classroom. Oh, somebody's got a dog. Hey, we've got somebody who's joined us. Welcome, Renard. Good to have you with us. We're just setting up the classroom. So I often leave this blank, but if you want a little bit of a blurb to display in your classroom because you've got lots of courses, you might want to just put, this is the, essentials course for all Spoony Lady Bosses, and then you might have an advanced one and so on. So you would put that there, but you can leave it blank.
Okay.
I'm just coughing. Okay, available lessons, we haven't created any of those yet, so you can just leave that blank, but you'll understand this later once we get some in there. A course image, I go and make these in Canva. And it's just a little thumbnail, so you can go and do that later. Or if you want to, actually go ahead and put a course, just pick any image, go to choose file and put it in there just so we can see how it looks. You can pick anything, it might be the wrong size, but that's okay. Actually, that size, that might work okay. You can see there's a little crop window. Just bring that out and fit it as best as you can. You can extend it by dragging it. And you can see a little preview.
Let's put it like that.
Yeah, great. And then I just go into Canva. I have a whole section where I just make really, really nice little graphics for my Life Coach Office thumbnails for the courses. And you can create some beautiful stuff really fast. Can you click it again? It doesn't look like it registered that for some reason. Let's see. There we go. It's thinking now. Okay, that might take a minute while it does all the cropping. There you go. And you've got your, so now you've got a course. It's there. That description area that I said you could leave blank if you wanted some, like a paragraph or some information under Spoony Lady Boss, the header, then that's where that description would display.
Great.
Okay, so pretty straightforward. So now go ahead and click into your course. And now you can go ahead and add modules and lessons. So let's add the first module.
Can I just title it Module 1?
Yeah, that's fine. My first module is usually welcome, let's get started, or something like that. Or Module 1 or Module 2, or yeah, whatever you want to call it. And you can always, I mean, it's super easy. We've really tried to keep it as just simple as possible. You can go and you can edit, you just change the name, and then everything gets updated. I don't know if that submit, yeah, there we go, now it's thinking. Okay, and now that'll open and close. Now, if you go and add a new lesson, what you can do here is you can choose to add a video file, or you can have an audio file. Video files will automatically pick up the screenshot from the video and put it as your preview. So you don't have to worry about the preview. But if you, for some reason, wanted to override that, you could import your own preview. And then obviously if you have an audio file instead of video, you would want to upload a thumbnail because the audio has no image associated with it. But Sylvie, could you just go to YouTube and grab a link? Actually, I might have one open.
I have my own YouTube channel, so I can.
Oh, great! Yeah, just grab go and share. Get a share icon, a share URL from your YouTube channel. This is good because then people can see how it's done. So there's two ways you can do it. Marlon has a Vimeo account. I don't never know how to say that. And you can have a little bit extra security. You pay for it, and you can actually like really hide away videos. And I've used his links to put them into the Academy classroom, and that works just fine. I have a YouTube account, and all the Academy stuff I just have as unlisted files, and then I just paste the URL into YouTube. That seems to work really well for me. I love YouTube, and all my stuff, all my videos that are in that one place. The format isn't recognized. Sorry, I didn't watch how you shared that. Try it again. That should work fine. Oh yeah, okay, because you need to get that share link from that second place, not the one at the top in the URL. I hope everybody catches. So you see how it automatically pulled in your cover? Yeah. So if this was like paid material, what you'd want to do is you'd want to set your YouTube video to unlisted, which means that only people who have the URL can see it. And that protection can work. If you want even more security, then go ahead and sign up for a Vimeo account, and you can, even if they have the URL, they can't see it unless, whatever their security rules are set up to. Okay, so, and then now you'll see, you've got, if you have lots of courses, you'd go ahead and pick your courses in that first string there, but you only have one, so it knows it's in the Spoony Lady Boss program. And then go ahead and click that, Sylvie. When you click the thing, you'll see all the modules that you can assign this lesson to. You have module 1. Now click that little single arrow, and that will say, okay, let's put this in module 1. Okay? If you wanted to add some introduction text, that will display in your lessons. Yeah, go ahead and type that just so you see where it goes. And then if you wanted, the lesson description, usually there's nothing that displays there. Did you push embed at the top, yep. Sylvie? Yeah, I don't normally do that because it'll automatically do it for you. And what it does is it just displays it there, which is handy because some coaches like to put some text before and after their video, and they want to embed it between that text. Otherwise, what it'll do if you just type in here, delete that, Sylvie, just so I can show you what it looks like on default, and just type, here's the lesson description, blah, 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 or something like that. Great. Okay, and then you know how you guys, when you're going through the academy, you can tick off, yes, I've done the homework, I've done this task, I've done this task. This is where you add it. So go ahead and add a task and just say, yeah, do your homework, great. And then you can add another one if you want, do your second piece of homework. Like, it's pretty straightforward. Really do your homework, yeah, cool. And then if you wanted any files, what you could do is you could upload them directly from your computer, or if you have some cool stuff in your library, then you want to make sure it's exactly the same stuff in your library, which is in the classroom, you can attach it from the library. I try to do that as much as possible so that there's that consistency across everything. But we wanted to give coaches the option. So go ahead and submit that, Sylvie, and you'll see that that's done, like you've created your first lesson. So you're at the classroom top level. If you click in there, you can see you've got your module. If you open up module 1, there's your lesson. And if you go ahead and click on the lesson, you can see what it looks like with that description in there. You can see where you've got this. Here's the lesson description. If you wanted to have some text or a transcription, you know, that people could read straight there, you could do whatever you want there. You have as much space as you want. And then when, as you guys know from looking at the academy, from the student's perspective, these tasks, when you look at it as a coach, it's just telling you how many people have said they've completed it. But when you're actually looking at the student view, you know, those are actually little tick boxes instead.
Yep, that's great.
Okay, so any questions about the classroom? That's pretty much it.
That was easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, do you feel confident that you can go and set up your lessons now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Okay, Renard, Grady, any questions? I'll take that as a, you're all good. All right, so let's go ahead and look at adding clients, because that's the next thing. So yeah, click on clients. There's two ways you can do it. Now, let's see. So you can do it manually just by clicking new client. So let's go through that one first. That's the easiest. You don't actually have to do it, but like that's all you do, right? What happens once you fill in those details is you submit it, and they are sent an automatic email with an invitation to join. And if you click the group, it'll invite them into the group. And then once they go through the process of confirming, and you know, they have to do some account activation steps, which you guys might have remembered when you signed up for the academy, then they're in. And they can see their client, they can see, you know, their client folder, the classroom, the library, and everything that Spoony Lady Boss people have access to. So that's how easy it is to add a new client. What I would like to do is I'd like to put some context around this, because we're talking about signature programs. So what you might do from your sign up page for your signature program, you're gonna have to follow what I say because I don't have visuals for you right now. So let's imagine you've got your, no, we'll do this. You've got your signature program page where people can go and sign up, and let's say you've got two options. You've got the pay in full option, and then you've got a payment plan option, right? At the moment, if people want to pay in full, they can actually use that little register online link. Sylvia, do you remember from the groups page? Are you, Sylvie?
Yeah, I am back.
Yeah, do you remember, you know which link I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking
yeah.
about. Page.
Great, so it's under the cog, yeah. So if you want to, in the get link, that little link icon,
yep.
So if you imagine on your sales page, you could have a button that says pay in full, brilliant price, and then basically you just link that button to that that URL, and then they click that button, they get taken, and they sign up, boom, 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 they're in, fully automated. Now, the thing that gets tricky is if you want to offer a payment plan. because we don't have an automatic subscription capability within Life Coach Office at the moment, there's a little workaround. So you've got to create that actually in PayPal itself and create a PayPal subscription button, which is really easy to do in PayPal. You go to Tools, Create Buttons, you create a subscription button, and then instead of linking this online registration link to your button, you actually link the PayPal subscription button to your link. But what happens in the flow of it is let's say a user clicks that subscribe button so that they can go on a payment plan. And then instead of being taken into a Life Coach Office world, they're actually, and pay through Life Coach Office, they're actually taken into a PayPal world. And they pay and set up their subscription into their credit card details so that they're automatically subscribed in PayPal. What happens then is it's not talking to Life Coach Office yet. This is coming down the track, but we just haven't built it yet, right? Okay, but what happens is PayPal will automatically email you and say, hey, this person just gave you some money. And then that's your trigger to go and email them. Now, is everybody following so far? Because I want to add another layer of layer in there.
Yeah, I'm following.
Following? Okay. What you can do when you go and set up your PayPal subscription button is there's a section right at the end of where you set up your button that says automatically redirect people to this page when they've paid. And what I do is just like you guys did for your setting up your funnel, you set up a thank you page. And I think most of you were on a subscription plan with me, so you would have been taken to a thank you page that said, thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you here. For the Academy too, I'm actually going to even put a video on that page. And it just says, we'll be in touch with you in 24 hours to get you started. So then that's automatically, they know within 24 hours. So you check your email, you say, oh, somebody's paid, and then right away you go and email them. And what I email my people is, I copy their PayPal email address, and I say, hey, welcome, awesome to have you in the program. We're gonna get you all set up in the student portal. Do you want me to use this PayPal email address for the student portal, or do you prefer that I use another email? That buys you a little bit more time, which is nice too. And then they write back to you and say, oh, I'm so excited, la, 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 la. Use this email address, and then you go in, add new client, and do the manual process. So if you have small groups, and most of you do because you're just starting out, and you want to offer these payment plans, that works fine. If you're getting into groups of 50 and so on, then that's not going to work so well for you. You really want to see if you can get people to pay in full, or have a VA that does that manual step for you. Okay, any questions about that?
No, it's great.
That's great. Great. Okay. So all the options are there. You just need to think it through a little bit. Okay. That covered all the main things I had on my list, but it also brought to mind one thing that is really nice to do. So I'm going to add a little bonus thing to my lesson if you guys are all happy to stay on a little bit longer. And I'd like you to go back to that little cog area, which I kind of call it's your settings, your system settings area, and go into the templates, Sylvie, please. And go into automated emails. Okay, now let's see if I can remember which one is which. Let's go ahead. I want to just talk you through, like you can see all the meeting reminders and follow-ups. That's all related to stuff out of the calendar. I don't want to spend time on that really right now. You can go and play with those till your heart's content. And the reason the new client activation, new client welcome, and the group registration done emails are all grayed out where the on is, it means that you can't turn them off. But if you want to, you can actually turn the reminder stuff off. We had a request for that, so we gave coaches the feature. Let's go ahead and look at the new client activation email. I just want you to see what that says.
Just you?
Yeah. I forgot to go on mute before I coughed. Apologies. So you really don't want to delete like the $ coach name, because that automatically puts your name and your group name in there, depending on any group that they join. So that coding stuff is really nice to have. What I want to do is for this email, because everybody who's joining Life Coach Office for me right now is joining because they're in my signature program. So I've come up with a really nice email to put here. that says, lovely to have you here. And it actually gives a spiel about each of the areas of Life Coach Office and how they'll use them as relative to the group they're in. So I'm going to send you all that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post that text in our Facebook group so that you have my version of what I put here, and you can reuse it and just shape it. Because I just find that you know, there you can actually have a little bit more text here to be helpful. Okay, so I'm going to send you that text. You can go ahead and go back. So the new client let me set some context around that one, sorry. The new client activation email, once you manually add a client in and you add their, you know, you go to clients, you add a new client, and you add in their details and hit submit, they're automatically fired off this email and they're invited to activate their account, right? The next one is the new client welcome email. We can look at that one. Congratulations, blah, blah, blah. So you can do whatever you want for there if you want to. So this is once they've actually gone through the steps, they've activated their account, which basically means they've entered their password. Then they get an email that says this is active. I think I leave this one like that because you don't actually need to say much. Go back and go to the last one, the group registration done email. So this is if they've registered online for the group. And then this is quite a boring email. So I think I actually repeat that really, that says, oh, you're here. Here's how you can use this amazing system. And then I go through each of the features and tell them what they can do as being a part of the group. So what I'll do is I'll just create a document for you guys, and I'll say, I'll just give you the text that I'm using for each of those 3 email types, and then you can tweak and change it, but at least it'll give you some ideas to play with. Okay. There you go. That's the little bonus bit, is how to tweak the email templates to make it even more user-friendly and inviting. Okay, so I'm going to go stop. Oh, Sylvie, can we stop the share screen? We'll come out and all look at each other. Oh, Renard's invisible today. All right. Feedback, questions, comments, anything?
No, it looks all pretty straightforward.
Great. Okay. Good. Renard's back. Did you catch any of that, Renard? He's eating again. Trey's always in a car. Renard's always eating.
No, this is, I've looked at so many other programs before I found you, and this is such an easy to understand, very straightforward. And I'm like, there's no way in the world, there's no reason to spend money on the other stuff.
Well, especially since you've got a year for free. Oh, and let me just tell you, with your academy, every academy I actually changed this. You guys were the pilot academy, so I threw everything in. So you guys get a year at Kickstart, which means 10 clients for free. However, if you want to go straight to premium, instead you can do a 6-month premium instead if you choose. And premium basically means unlimited clients. Okay, but please make that choice before you start, and then just commit to that one so I don't have to fiddle around with all the admin of sorting out the logistics of that. Okay, Brady, feedback, ideas, insights?
No, it's really straightforward. I had already gone through and set up some stuff. So the modules and lessons part you helped with, because I set up a bunch of lessons. And it was easy because while you were doing it, I set up a module and then moved all the lessons into it. So it's really straightforward.
Great. And now too, like, let's say you run your Spoonie Lady Boss once, and then you run it again, and you want to change some of the lessons, but keep some of the other ones. You can reuse stuff from lesson 1 and then add in different lessons. So it's immensely flexible to really create stuff really quickly.
Say I change something with one. So let's say I change the video or redo the video.
Yeah.
I could do everything else that I've put in there and just change the video, let's say.
Yeah, you can do that. And then if you just change the video in the lesson and you have the lesson in 2 places, it'll just update the videos in both. Or if you wanted to just replace, like if you wanted the lesson 1 and this one to be one thing, but in 2 you decided to totally change lesson 1 to something completely different, you can have a different lesson 1, you know. So it's really flexible. But you don't need to change what was in the original one if you want to keep that original stuff for history or for your clients who have, you know, lifetime access to it or whatever. Any other questions?
Yeah, if in the program too, if I add, let's say, a welcome lesson,
Yeah.
or lesson, can I still copy the lesson 1 that would become the lesson 2 in the second group?
Ooh. Okay, say that again.
If in the second group I'm running, I had a welcome lesson, the first lesson becomes welcome.
Yep.
I still use what's in the lesson 1 of group 1 to create lesson 2 of group 2.
You can. What I would do in that situation, because your header's different, because you're going to call it a different title, is you would actually need to recreate it. But because the link is already there, the text is already there, you just paste in the link, go and get that text, but you'd want to change the header. So I would actually create a separate lesson, but just cut and paste. So it'll still be really fast, but I would actually have 2 separate entities to be able to do that, so that because you need that different title, because the title is attached to the lesson.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good for me, yeah.
Perfect. So you're set up and ready to go. Well, with a little bit more tweaking. I look forward to seeing what it looks like with your logo and everything on there.
Me too.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, that's a wrap, guys, unless there's anything else we need to discuss.
Nope, we're good.
Okay, I'm going to